Hey everyone, this is Alex Milstein. I'm the editor-in-chief of Betting News Now, and this is Bet Ed Now, bite-sized bits of betting industry knowledge. Today, my guest is Kelly Charles. She's the co-owner of the Big Mattress Outlet, which is now a franchise store that's based in, where are you based, Kelly?
We are based out of North Georgia.
Okay, North Georgia. And so we're going to talk to Kelly today about something that I think every retailer is thinking about, which is door swings, getting that traffic up. So let's start, Kelly, with, what kind of things do you do at the Big Mattress Outlet to bring customers in?
So, if I had a magic potion that worked 100% of the time, I'd be a gazillionaire and I wouldn't be still in my office plugging away working on it. But, I think the biggest thing that a business owner has to think about when traffic is down is sort of twofold. Number one is, where are your customers? The ones that are buying, where are they? What are they doing? Where are they going? What are their buying habits right now? Because you
Mhm.
may have to adapt your marketing to find them. Maybe the things you've used over the years that have always been tried and true and brought traffic in may not work right now. Customers may have a different mindset. And what we're finding in talking to retail owners over the nation and just coming back from the Vegas market, that was a theme that ran through a lot of conversations, was that it's very regional. So you really have to learn your own unique area. There's some great advice out there from seasoned people in the industry, but every region is different. So what's working in our little small towns in North Georgia is different than what might be working in Texas or in California or in other parts of the country. So thing is that's really important to figure out what's working in your area. But then twofold, I think the other part is the traffic that you do get. Our clothes game is different than it used to be. We kind of got spoiled some through COVID where people just came in and handed you money and bought things. So I think some of us got a little bit rusty on our relationship skills with our customers. And so we're having a little bit harder time closing now. Again, we got to be mindful of our customers that are coming in, our demographic. What are they going through right now? Are they feeling forced to shop in a lot of different stores? I know that's something we're seeing in our stores for sure, is that customers are very conscientious of their spending. So they've got online, they've come up with a list of places that they're going to shop, and they are by golly going to shop in every one of them. And used to, a good closer could get past that and seal the deal. And there are times now where even our best closers are facing customers that say, look, you've done a good job. You've checked all the boxes. You've answered all my questions. This is the product I want. You've got it in stock. You can deliver today. You fit everything, but I'm still going to go hit these other two places on the list just because for my own sanity, I have to know that I did it. So you got to be able to, have some way of capturing that be back that might be different than what we've done in the past. And then when you do close the sale, you got to be mindful of attaching everything you can. That might be the only one you get that day. Average transaction amounts need to be up right now. We need
Mhm.
to be attaching. You need to have your full sleep system. And we had a lot of conversation again recently with some of the folks that we talked to in Vegas that were emphasizing the importance of, instead of selling each component and then you reach the end and you're kind of seller's fatigue, the customer's tired of being sold to, you're tired of selling stuff. Let's change the conversation and let's just sell one thing, which is a sleep system. And it's comprised of all these different things. And that kind of helps raise your ticket. Let's use financing to our advantage. So I know I just hit a whole bunch of high points there to quickly answer your question, but we can delve
Yeah,
into any of those that you want to.
you summed it up very nicely. But, I'm interested, we were talking about driving in traffic and, really capturing those people. So I've heard recently that a lot of brands, a lot of online brands, I should say, are carried in store to help drive traffic to those stores. Do you find that that's true?
We do. Yeah. Even in our small town stores, we're finding that some of the online brands are driving traffic. So we appreciate the traffic wherever it comes from. And
Yeah.
sometimes the customers are set on buying those brands. And you know what, customer, if that's what they want, they've done the research, they come in just to give us their business on that brand. We're more than happy to sell it to them. But it doesn't change our process of fitting a customer with the sleep system that's best for them. And
Hmm.
sometimes what they've picked online is truly not the best thing for them. So a good expert is going to be able to help a customer realize, you don't particularly enjoy mattress shopping, do you? Like, do you want to have to do this again in a couple of months? Like, why don't we just get this right the first time?
Hmm.
Let's pick
Yeah.
you something that you like.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
I
Yeah. And
certainly appreciate the traffic though, from any standpoint.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think that the other part of that is driving those customers in is a great way to then kind of upsell them. I've heard around the industry as well that because, these brands drive them in doesn't necessarily mean that the consumer is coming in and buying,
It's
a
true.
nectar
That's
or,
absolutely true.
puffy or anything like that.
Great example. I'll be transparent. I mean, we've got nectar on the floor and it drives some traffic. Margins are not what most retail owners want to see on a nectar, but we appreciate the fact that it drives traffic. So sometimes customer again has done their homework online. They're set on, buying a nectar. And if so, that's what we'll sell them. But again, we will sleep fit someone and try to get them. There are opportunities for upsell for sure.
Hmm.
And so we've certainly done that when it's possible. So I don't want any vendor that has been responsible for driving traffic into the store. We're going to give that a conversation. We're not going to not show that product because they're responsible for getting the customer in the store. So we absolutely going to show that product. But if it's the right thing for the customer, then that's what they buy. If there's an opportunity for upsell, then obviously we're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And connected to that, I think this all really comes down to each customer now is, I guess I would say, more valuable than they once were because you really have one, maybe two chances. And, it's just such a competitive market right now with all of the online players, with their online spending as well, with advertising. It really speaks to the importance of each customer. Each walk-in is way more important than it was, I think, 5, 10 years ago.
Sure is. But isn't that the case with everything? I mean, a gallon of milk doesn't cost what it used to. A
Yeah.
trip to the grocery store is more expensive. Inflation has affected everything. It's affected the price of gas, everything, cost of living has gone higher. The cost of acquiring our customer has gone higher too. Those customers are more valuable than they've ever been. So it just kind of goes in line with the economy. But having a brick and mortar store, obviously our online retailers are our biggest competition. But if a customer walks in, that tells me that customer wanted the opportunity to buy something in person. They wanted the connection, they wanted the retail experience. They knew that probably, I mean, most people think they know about the mattress business, that when they walk in, they're going to hit a used car salesman type person. It's not true in every store. Some stores are not like that, but the customer doesn't always realize that. They probably think they're going to be sold to, they've got their guard up. It's certainly easier for them to buy online, but if they walked in our store, that tells me they wanted something different. They didn't want to buy online, or they would have, because it would have been easier.
Yeah.
So the gravity of that should not be lost on any brick and mortar store owner. That when somebody comes in, that was hard for them. They didn't want to come in shop with you. Like they could have sat
Right.
on their couch and read reviews and ordered a mattress and had it delivered to their door.
Yeah. Yeah.
But instead they came in shopping for something they probably didn't want to shop for and gave us the opportunity to earn their business. So I think we owe it to them then to create an experience that makes it pleasurable, that shows appreciation and actually solves their problems, whatever those problems are with their sleep or whatever they're presenting us with. Our job's to solve their problems.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, really quick, want to go back to the first thing you said to kind of end this conversation. So, you were talking about each person, each retailer needs to look into their specific area and figure out, their opportunities. So, what are some ways that they can do that research? What are some things that they can do to look locally and see what their local population needs in terms of mattresses?
Yeah, that's a really good question because I mean, you want actionable advice here, and you're not going to be able to ask the mattress store across town how their business is and how their traffic is because it's going to tell you it's great. If they're worth anything, they're going to tell you, man, we're rocking and rolling, we're doing great, and
Yeah.
they haven't seen anybody in a week. That's what I would do anyway. So maybe partner with some other small business owners in your area that are not in your industry, that are not competitors, and find out either what's worked for them or what their real traffic is like. Somebody who's like in my case, being in the mattress business, maybe somebody who's in an appliance business, who's a similar size ticket item. Of course, that's any number of things that you could think of that might be applicable, but partner that way. Join the chamber, have some conversations, some candid conversations with local business owners. But also, if you've been in business for some time, you probably have some idea what your demographic is, like who is your prime customer. And chances are, for like in my stores, we target sort of the middle. We aren't a budget store and we also don't sell the top end either. So we're right in the middle. And our customer is probably the one who's suffering the most and feeling the crunch from inflation in the economy. Because I've noticed, our high ticket customers are still spending high tickets, and our low budget customers are still at low budget. It's the middle customer who's maybe putting off that mattress purchase because right now just isn't a good time. So if you try to really put yourself in their shoes and really kind of do an exercise where you map out what was their journey like before they got to your store. Come up with something real. Did they start talking about a mattress 6 months ago and decide that they couldn't afford it right now? But they've talked about it off and on. And maybe this morning they woke up and one of them's back was hurting so bad they said, "We've just got to give this a shot. Let's just go see if we can afford." I'm making something up, but these are real things that could have happened. So they come in, they're already thinking maybe they can't afford it, but they're not sleeping well, so they're going to try anyway. Would financing appeal to this customer? Are they going to get a little bit of sticker shock? So maybe we don't talk so much about the sales price as much as we do helping them sleep better, a little bit of self-care involved. Maybe right off the bat, if you're the kind of store who's got the ability to, work with all budgets, maybe right off the bat, you say, if you're like most of us today, your budget's not going as far as it used to. So our goal here is to help you sleep better and respect your budget. So there are things you can do to help the customer realize that you're on their side, that you really do just want to help. And then maybe even rearranging some of your merchandising in the store to accommodate what those customers need. If you've always been a little bit higher in store, maybe having something in the lineup that appeals to the customer who's struggling a little bit right now. Maybe introducing some layaway options or some creative purchase options, just things that add value to the customer who's being very dollar budget conscious right now. And just one example, but I think the point that I'd like to drive home more than anything is that we're all looking for an answer out there. And I don't think there is one answer that's going to be everybody's solution. Otherwise, somebody would have thought of it and we'd all have it and we'd be doing entirely
Right.
different. I think it's the responsibility of each one of us to look at our individual unique store area. And I'll tell you, Alex, we've got the stores we have, 3 of them are within an hour of each other, and they are 3 completely different stores, completely different personalities of the community, different clientele that come in, even though we sell the same product in all of them, and it's the same team and the same every sales process, everything. So every store is unique. So I think really identifying what each store needs rather than trying to throw out a blanket solution that will work in some places and not in others. But the same applies to your social media targeting. Everything you're doing to try to drive traffic is being really honing in on that, what's going to work in your individual store.
Yeah.
And providing experience for the customers who do come in that makes you stand out. You got to be different in some kind of way. You got to stand out. You
Yeah,
got to be
that's right.
memorable.
Very important today for sure. Okay, awesome. Before we go, Kelly, I wanted to give you a plug for your podcast,
Well,
which you
thank you.
recently started. So give us the elevator pitch on that really quick.
So, Nothing Else Mattress is the name of the podcast. And believe it or not, it is not about mattresses. Yeah, it's about another subject that is near and dear to my heart, and that's entrepreneurship. I am obsessed with origin stories from people who have a different points of their journey, because being an entrepreneur is scary and everybody's story is different. Some people have left a corporate environment like I did. And so you take that leap of faith. That's really scary. I interviewed one lady who had been a stay-at-home mom for 15 years, trying to enter back to the workforce, getting told no, a lot of doors closed in her face. And she's like, well, fine, I'll just open a business. And now she's within months, she's extremely successful and got her own brand of products. You have to listen to that one. That's the interview with Krista Matusky. I'm just obsessed with people's stories and what drives them, what motivates them, because if you own a successful business, that it doesn't come easy. And a lot of times the outside world looks in and just sees the success side of it and it's like, oh, must be nice. Or, can't hide money, and I want to look at it and say, can't hide hard work, because that's ultimately what it is. So I want to inspire, if there's just one person out there that listens to it who is thinking of starting a business and just needs that extra little push to say, just do it. That's who I want to inspire. And obviously, we're franchising. So I'd like to, if somebody's thinking of, looking for an opportunity, then that's a conversation I'd love to have. Even if it's in another industry, it's been so rewarding for us to own our own business that I want to share that and inspire others. So that's the meat of the podcast. Thank you for the plug.
Awesome. Yeah, of course. everybody go check it out for sure. Where can they find it? Is it on
Should be able to find it anywhere. You can find it on Spotify at nothingelsemattress.com. We've got a Facebook page where we always post the episodes. Of course, it's on YouTube. You can subscribe there. So please go watch one, hit like, please hit subscribe. That helps us out. Helps the world
Yeah,
know we're worth listening to.
yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Yeah, I
All right.
appreciate
Well,
that,
thanks so
Alex.
much,
Appreciate the
Kelly.
interview today and the time on your show.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm glad to have you as a guest.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, that's all I had. I appreciate you coming on.